All right, we're talking about the most famous suspicious death in history, but let's bring it to 2026. If you were found dead tomorrow under mysterious circumstances, what item found at the crime scene would spark the wildest conspiracy theories about you? Cat or Dwayne, what do you guys think?
It depends, because they might find ginger ale and pretzels, and then I don't know if that's gonna
Like an excessive amount or just a normal amount?
What do you think is excessive? I guess is the question.
Well, that probably means it's excessive.
right.
You have to ask.
And also, like my Instagram, what am I watching? Because I try to like balance my algorithm. You know what I mean? So like, I might be watching girls twerk, or I might be watching like how to do, indoor gardening. So it depends on what screen I'm on too. I don't think there's anything else too ridiculous. I do have a lot of baby powder, more than a person should have, only because I keep forgetting I have it. Then I buy more. So,
all right, Cat.
Does this have to be something that I do have in my home, or just an item that I think would be mysterious?
Either.
Okay. I think it'd be really crazy if I had a lot of rope.
Do you have a lot of rope?
No.
Oh.
But if I had that would be crazy.
Do you wish you had more rope?
No, but I think that would definitely spawn conspiracy. They'd be like, what does this person have so much rope? Are they going around? Are they lassoing people?
Absolutely.
Are they like hanging other people? Like, what's going on with the rope? In real life, something I have a lot of that people would think was weird is dog sweaters.
Interesting.
Like for dogs, or sweaters with dogs on it?
And
it's for dogs.
And you have a dog, or you don't have a dog currently?
I have a dog.
Okay. So.
I have a dog.
Well, at least you have a dog. That'd be...
But if I disappeared under mysterious circumstances, and so would my dog, I imagine. We would disappear together.
Yeah, mine would be dogs too. About dog, it'd be just the amount of dog pictures in my Dropbox.
Okay.
Because I'm very meticulous about organizing my pictures.
Right.
It comes a lot from like, I spent a long time looking through my mom's stuff, and there's a lot of pictures that are like, this is the side of a mountain and there's nobody in it. And I'm like,
what would they like ascertain, you think, from these pictures?
I don't know. It'd just be weird. There's just so many pictures.
Right.
Although I have a funny story about dog pictures. So one of the things I always do when I meet people is I always say, what's on, whoever's on your phone is kind of an indication of what kind of person you are. Usually it's like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, children, animals, something, right?
You mean the picture?
Yeah, the picture on the screen, on the lock screen or the home screen. I remember one time I was on the set with a famous person, and we were at lunch, and we went around the table where I was like, mine was like my son or my dog or whatever. And the famous actor, it was actually him on the screen. And so it was like super uncomfortable, and everyone was like,
really
and the producer kicked me because he got angry at me about doing it. The reason I say this story is because there was a time when my best friend had this Instagram model girl, wife.
Mm-hmm.
And so he always had like half naked pictures of her on his screen, which I thought was weird, but whatever. And then he's like, and one time I was giving him shit about it. He's like, well, what's on your screen? And I was like, all right, let's look at it. And it was my dog's crotch.
Why was he your dog's crotch?
Because it was all furry. I thought it was cute.
But he still has the wife, right? Or no?
No, they broke up.
Oh man,
but
I know what you're talking about too.
But it was pretty funny though. It was just like what was important to us? Right. So I think there'll be there's so many random pictures of the dog that like you might be like, well, why is he taking a picture of the dog's crotch? Like why is he doing this? Why is he a picture of him?
Right.
Like his paw, like a really close picture of his paw. So I think people would just be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy?
That'd be a deep dive. I like that because then there's so many theories that can spawn off that.
Yeah.
I also have. Not on my person, but I do own too many zip ties.
Oh, that would be serious.
Well, because it's just, you buy some and you forget where they are.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think you need them. And you always need one, to tie a wire or something. But you buy a whole pack of them. And then you just keep not. And then you find the ones that you had. Now you have 2 bags.
I think you're speaking for yourself.
Then you end
This
up.
is very specific, but I could see myself in that scenario.
Yeah, then you end up with like 5 bags of zip ties. And it's like, why do you have. It's like, yeah, because I had to string up 3 wires, and I just kept buying new entire bags.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Unofficial Official Story Podcast. This is episode 11 of season 5. Join us as we dive into the quirky, mysterious, and bizarre. From unsolved mysteries to peculiar pop culture phenomena, we uncover hidden stories and explore alternate realities. My name is Cat Alvarado.
Hi, guys. I'm Dwayne Fitzgerald.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Yes. Because of it's a nod to JFK, but also to the Great Gatsby. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Well, but that was a different time period, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still in the past.
Okay.
old timey.
All right. I'm Koji Kennedy because I always wanted to be a Kennedy.
Oh, is that right?
I mean,
Actually,
it would be awesome to be a Kennedy.
I met a Kennedy once. Distant cousin. No
Okay.
benefits. Got a theory or mystery you want us to explore? Send it our way, and we might feature it in an upcoming episode.
Well, we passed February, but it was President's Day, so we are going to be honoring John F. Kennedy by talking about his affairs. Today, we're going to find out, were the Kennedys responsible for Marilyn Monroe's death?
Now, without further ado, here is the official story.
Marilyn Monroe was found dead in her Los Angeles home on August 5th, 1962. She was lying on her bed naked with a telephone in one hand, surrounded by empty bottles of pills. While the death was ruled a suicide, many believe that Robert Kennedy, JFK, or both of them had something to do with it.
Monroe allegedly had sexual affairs with one or both of the Kennedys. Many calls leading up to her death referenced these affairs. When calling her estate agent and friend Arthur James, she said that Robert Kennedy had cut her off cold. And in a later call to another friend, Ann Carter, she said she was very much in love and was going to marry Bobby Kennedy. Carter described the tone as delusional and depressed. Hours before her death, Monroe called Dr. Ralph Greenson, her psychiatrist, after apparently meeting with a man who she had been having sexual relations with. Greenson referred to this man as extremely important in government at the highest level. Around 5 hours later, she called her hairdresser and close friend Sidney Gileroff and spoke of betrayals by men in high places and clandestine love affairs, in the words of Gileroff herself.
You think she was talking about the mayor of South Pasadena?
Yeah, right? She could have been. She could have been.
Maybe she meant like physically highest levels of government. Like, isn't Denver high up? It's the mayor of Denver.
That's funny.
She can't worry about the mayor.
Some guy in a clock tower. He was in high places. Yeah.
Maybe north. Maybe it's the mayor of Canada.
Right.
I don't know.
Greenland. Oh, sorry.
Most importantly, she claimed that Robert Kennedy had been at her house earlier, threatening and yelling at her. She claimed he had promised to marry her, and he had broken it off. Other sources report Robert Kennedy's presence at her house at this time. He was definitely in Los Angeles on that day, and Monroe's maid, Eunice Murray, confirmed he had been at the house and had a brief argument with her.
You know what's funny? Whenever I hear Robert Kennedy, it's gotten ruined because of the dude, the other Kennedy right now.
Oh, yeah, that
And
one.
his son.
Like now,
Brainworms Kennedy Jr.?
Yeah, I can only think about him like snorting coke off the bathroom or swimming in sewage or in that voice.
God.
He's ruined everything. Kennedy used to be like somebody I liked kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And JFK Jr. never came back.
Mm.
No, he
He was
did. He
supposed to
did.
come
He was.
back.
He came.
Oh,
back.
yeah, he was supposed to
He
return.
came back.
He came
Oh,
back.
I'm just kidding.
Well, he kept it on the low.
Yeah.
Well, Michael Jackson and Robin Williams were also supposed to come back the same day. So I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah.
That was the thing.
I
They
didn't know
did.
that.
They all came back. So why would the Kennedys either kill Marilyn themselves or have her killed? There are a couple of theories. Monroe's death could be a cover-up for either the affairs themselves or state secrets. However, there is some knowledge of the Kennedys having affairs, and FBI documents seem unconcerned with either man telling Monroe classified information. There was one concern of theirs, a lunch she had with JFK where nuclear weapons were discussed. This information would have been useful to Soviet intelligence.
Hmm.
The FBI had also been keeping a 105 file on Monroe, which investigated her political activity. That's when they think you might be doing espionage or something. Under J. Edgar Hoover, that mostly meant leftist, and Monroe was openly a leftist with concerns about nuclear testing. Some thought she was a communist, making her a threat to the nation. But she wasn't shown to be actively involved in any LA communist groups. Plus, it was a Cold War, so everyone thought everyone was a commie.
Everyone was a commie.
Everyone still thinks everyone's a commie.
That's a fact.
Nothing has changed.
Although it's pretty funny that people think Nazis were socialists. They're always like, I'm like, just because they said it in the name doesn't mean they're
They
actually.
don't know it meant something different. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
No, well, I mean,
they're
they-
socialists and I'm black.
No, so they
Okay.
actually only said the National Socialist Party, and they used red to trick communists in Germany to join the National Socialist Party. It was actually intentional.
So even back then, people didn't pay attention.
Yeah, so they would have like those they'd have like a beer hall event,
Mhm.
and they'd say National Socialist Party, and then they would have in red. all over the place. And then people would be like, oh, I'm a communist. And then they'd show up and they'd be like, Nazi.
Right.
And then they'd eventually just join because they're stupid. But yeah, people are pretty funny about that. All right. So is nuclear Armageddon good first date talk? What is the absolute worst topic to bring up when you're trying to seduce a president? Epstein file, probably.
Epstein file. Or I guess his wife, if he's married.
This is true. Great answer. At the time, the Kennedys' political enemies were trying to get dirt on them. Fred Otash, a Hollywood private eye hired to keep tabs on RFK and JFK, wired several homes, including Marilyn Monroe's apartment and later her house. The surveillance confirmed Monroe and JFK had a sexual affair, although this was one of many for JFK. Otash's surveillance also captured Monroe's meeting with Robert Kennedy the night of her death. This corroborates previous accounts of the story. They argued, and Monroe demanded to know why RFK wouldn't marry her. There were sounds that could have been a sexual encounter, and then an arrangement for Kennedy to call Monroe once he left the area. Killing Monroe would have saved the Kennedys from political strife or even ruin.
Kennedy was married.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
They both were, yeah.
that's why he couldn't have married Monroe.
Because he would have had to get divorced and then...
Yes. And getting a divorce back then would have meant that he probably wouldn't have been president, because back then we cared about those kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Now you can, marry whoever, a stripper from Eastern Europe. I'm not mentioning any names,
right.
but
You can be royalty and marry a girl from a
TV
cable
show
TV
called...
show. Yeah. What was that show called?
Was it?
Suits?
Suits, yeah.
Yes. If a private eye wired your house, what is the most boring thing they would hear that would make them quit the job immediately?
Just the sound of the show How to Get Away with Murder on Hulu every single night forever.
Nice. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I think it would just be me working out while I binge watch like either Kath and Kim or whatever show I'm watching. So similar.
Yeah,
just I don't talk.
Or maybe me like talking to my dog, just being like, "Hey, baby, oh, I love you, you're so sweet."
But I do sometimes pump myself up. Like I don't talk to myself, but I do sometimes pump myself up. Like just positive self talk. Just like I might do something.
Yeah, they would
slightly okay and be like, "Yes, Dwayne, they can't fuck with you."
At my house, they would be like, "Why are they still talking about baseball?"
They're
still talking about baseball? Oh my God. Don't they talk about anything else other than baseball?
They'd be at my place. I'd be like, "Oh, I love you. Do you know I love you? You know I love you."
Right.
And then they'd be like, "It's a dog, Cat. He doesn't. He doesn't know that word."
Baseball was a secret code word. Like, it's got to be something else.
He's a Chinese spy. All right. There was even some evidence pointing toward a cover-up. Tosh's recordings and other evidence were later compiled as part of ABC's 2020 documentary program, mainly with a focus on these political figures being surprisingly easy to blackmail rather than fixating on the affairs. However, ABC executives intervened for unclear reasons. I know exactly the reasons. And hours before the program was set to air, it was canceled. One of the executives involved in the decision was Rune? Or is it Rooney? Rune? I don't know.
Maybe Rune.
Rune. Arledge, who was friends with Robert Kennedy's widow. He claimed that this relationship did not affect his decision. I'm sure it didn't.
So let's look at means, motive, and opportunity. They could have been means, but no murder weapon was found, and Monroe's death was ruled to be an overdose of her prescribed medication. As for motive, well, there's a couple of possibilities, mostly centering around protecting the Kennedys and or state secrets. The opportunity is the difficult thing. The only time Robert or John could have reasonably killed Monroe was when Robert Kennedy was at her house, unless they hired a hitman or had her killed some other way. However, that's more likely than either man directly killing her. They don't do their laundry. They're not going to murder.
Right.
By the way, isn't it funny that there was a political time when having an affair would probably be bad for your career? And now, now you could like
boys will be boys.
You could rape little children, and I'm not naming names, but you could be on a list of people who raped.
Best friends with people who raped children.
Jeffrey, you mean?
But that even changed from last year, because last year was like, let's get the list and let's And now it's like, well, I mean, they were 16, they weren't 8, What?
Or they're like,
Oh, that's okay,
people
right?
just put stuff into the list so we don't even know what's really in it. Or just, remember that time it was like Hillary's emails and then they saw every mention of pizza and decided that meant kitty porn?
Well, even worse, remember that basically they were right. Except for the pizza part.
Right,
that it
right.
wasn't the Democrats.
Except for that it wasn't Hillary.
It wasn't Hillary.
Right, maybe it's not a party thing. It's just a guy thing.
That's what's so funny. I mean, I was talking to this guy recently who was saying, what if it was Obama? I was like, then he should go to jail. If he's fucking raping children, I don't care who it is.
But I think we would know if it was him.
Yeah, but the point is, like, I don't care who is doing it.
Absolutely.
Anybody who's doing it, whether I like them or not, should go to jail.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that hard.
But that person is like trying to set you up because they're basically projecting, saying,
Yeah,
it's my guy, so I don't want to do anything about it.
Which is crazy because I don't care who. I mean, really, like, if it's my best friend, if he's doing something with little children, I want them to be in jail. I don't care.
I kind of think they did put some crazy stuff in there because some of the stuff is like so wild that you're like, oh, they put this in so that we would talk about it and they could dismiss the entire thing.
Well,
like the testing
you're gonna
thing.
need AI to read the whole
Yeah,
thing because
the cream cheese.
Yeah.
It's
Or even
crazy.
the thing about the one that came out a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, about Trump maybe
Testing.
blowing Clinton.
Oh, yeah.
was-
That he
I don't know
blew
if
Bubba?
was a
That was
joke or-
funny.
That was really weird.
This is true. Crazy stuff, you guys. But let's look at the evidence. We're not just seeing if they killed her. We're looking at any connection between her death and the Kennedy family. Were they responsible for her death? Or was it one of the many misfortunes in her life that contributed to her suicide? When we come back, we'll figure out what really maybe happened. Now that we've reviewed the evidence, let's give our theories.
Here's my theory. Monroe was actually a time traveler from our current day who,
From like now.
right now,
Yeah.
who didn't want to see Junior go into the administration.
Okay.
So she was trying to have an affair with the father to kill him so that Kennedy Jr. would never happen. Because she was worried about the measles outbreak and the fact that he's going to ruin everything, just like the whole administration.
Who's going to ruin everything? JFK
Junior.
or RFK?
RFK Jr.
RFK Jr. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So if if the RFK is dead, then Jr. doesn't come and then everything changes.
I see.
And maybe Trump doesn't even become president.
So did she want RFK dead or just not to be president?
Dead.
'Cause maybe he
No,
lives.
he wanted to be dead so that he wouldn't have a child.
So she was going to kill him.
Yes, that was the goal. She's a time
Interesting.
traveler
I see.
from the current day.
And then it didn't work out.
It didn't work out. She got killed. It was a whole struggle.
My theory is that they poisoned her. Because they're like, oh, she died of
Like, who's they?
from the Kennedys.
Okay.
Like literally them, or they hired somebody.
I think it was RFK. I think he administered the poison. He was there. I'm pretty sure he's like the last person to see her alive,
Like a
right?
time release.
Yeah, like
Rose
a time
hips
release
kind of
but-
poison?
mhm, where he like somehow puts like he has her take some of her medication earlier, like put something in her drink. Because it doesn't even have to be different. It could be her prescribed medication. He opens the capsule, puts it in her cocktail when she's not looking, like maybe 2 of them. And then later she takes her real dose, boom, dies after the real dose. But she doesn't even know that she's overdosed at this point because she had no idea. She already took a giant amount of it. in her cocktail.
Why would they do it? Why are they killing her?
She knows too much. And I think that what she was really hiding was a threesome between both of the Kennedy brothers, RFK and JFK,
He's very
and
White
her.
Uh-huh.
I think they had a 3-way, and I think it was mostly the brothers on each other.
That went a whole different direction.
That is wild.
And that's why she had to die. Because, like, look, affairs are one thing, but being gay, that they would
incest
kill
gay.
over.
It's not just gay; it's incest,
Incest gay.
It's not. Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, I think they would kill over gay incest.
That's interesting. I mean, I like both your theories. The interesting thing about yours, Koji, is they did say when she was singing, they had to like cut and then obviously she had to do it over again because she mistakenly said the internet is a girl's best friend. And they were like, what the hell was that?
Yeah. See?
So
I didn't even know that, but okay.
What?
no,
Okay.
I'm just
You
adding
just
to his,
made a whole new theory.
to his time traveler thing.
Yeah, she pulled out her cell phone, and then people were like, "What is that?"
Right.
She's like, "It's a phone." And she's like, "What? It's not connected to anything."
I really like the time traveler thing, but I think I don't know.
I know my gay affair thing sounds really far-fetched and like more far-fetched
they
than Time
definitely
Traveler.
seemingly both hooked up with her, right?
But yeah,
So,
the thing, like, it is weird that she was hooking up with both of them and that, like, maybe they knew, like, that is so weird that they knew about it and it was both of them. Who does that on purpose? Like, that's just a very strange thing to do unless they're doing it simultaneously. And then all of a sudden it's a little bit less strange. Because I get, okay, if I'm seeing a guy and I'm also seeing his brother and I want that first guy to marry me and he finds out I was seeing his brother, then like, no shit, he's not going to marry me. Duh. So why would she be so delusional that RFK would marry her if she knows, because he probably knows that she's also sleeping with
they think they can do things
brother.
that don't make sense. She figured I'll just be Marilyn Monroe and
I'll just have two affairs. Like she's just kind of narcissistic and delusional.
She probably had dated guys who knew each other before and like one guy is like, I don't care, so she probably.
Actually, the problem is she watched too much Pornhub. And she got like in her head that this is like
when she was in this time.
Yeah, she was like, it's like, this is
back in time.
It says porn is normal.
Right.
So she's like, wait, I see it on the internet all the time. And so when she went back in time, she's like, oh.
Right. Well, I have two theories, but I actually, in this case, I don't want to go with the silly one. I want to go with the more credible one. For lack of a better term, let's say the CIA. Mm-hmm. But it's not necessarily CIA. It might be one level above. It might be, it's basically the same people who killed her, killed MLK, both Malcolm. Kennedys and Malcolm. Because the 60s were like, they realized was such a pivotal time and they were about to sort of like lay the foundation for taking over the world in a irreversible way. And these are the people who pose a threat to that. And she posed a threat just by knowing the Kennedys because like, if the affair comes out, then people start looking and digging. And by finding out the Kennedy stuff, they would have found out some other stuff. So basically they needed to neutralize her. She knew too much and she was messing up the long-term plans. I think the Kennedys didn't realize it though. They may have wanted to do something and maybe
like do something ancestral.
To her.
Oh, got it.
But I think they got beat to the punch. So I would say
interesting.
CIA, secret cabal, something of that sort. They did it because she wasn't playing by the rules. Basically, anyone who didn't play by the rules got eliminated. And
I think
each of these people kind of like mistakenly thought they could kind of change or do what they wanted. And then they all got eliminated. They got better. They started learning. Watergate is when they got sloppy because they were getting too comfortable with doing whatever they were doing, I say CIA, but I think maybe CIA at the behest of
like a cabal of
so I'll
military,
add on
industrial
to that.
complex, these kind of people.
I think CIA was on the right? That's why they took out MLK. But Monroe would have harmed the left because RFK and JFK were liberals.
I know, but it would have just caused people to examine government and everything in a way that they didn't want sort of like reporters really looking into everything. That's my theory.
More closely.
Because
if it was your theory, I think the people who would have done it wouldn't necessarily be the CIA, but maybe like the Democratic National Committee or whatever.
Yeah, but also the
maybe
the parties.
The mob was also involved. Kind of.
The parties are so close back then because you have to remember the Southern Democrats were basically Republicans,
right.
and then the northeastern Republicans were basically Democrats,
right?
And so
it would be them. The Kennedy's own party would have done it. Is what I mean.
Well, that. Like, I think the point is that they were like the stark differences between Democrats and the Republicans now, like the parties are like a little bit further apart. Back then, they were actually not. There was a lot more like the Southern Democrats were literally just Republicans. They're the Republicans today, but they were called Democrats because
they switched
War.
After the Civil Rights
because of the Civil War. Yeah, that's why they were Republicans. But Democrats, but they were literally just Republicans. So that's one of the reasons why if you I did poli-sci when I was in college, and that's why it's like there was a lot more like Democrats and Republicans working together back then because
It was all kind of the time
They're
to switch up.
Well, they were
around
basically
Nixon
like the
era.
Republicans in the North were basically Democrats. And so that's why they would work together. And the Democrats in the South were basically Republicans. And that's why they would work together. So it wasn't like that these people were like, let's work together. It was more of like they actually shared beliefs.
Right.
So the CIA would have done both.
Yeah.
Right. You're saying because Lincoln was a Republican, so that made the South go Democrat.
Correct.
But then after the Civil Rights Movement, they switched and
They did what they did. But that's why like in the United States politics, that's when like
the parties switched.
The parties became like much further apart, and there was a lot less going over the aisle and working together,
right?
Because there's just like there are much bigger differences, even though it's not huge, but it's bigger differences,
right?
You know, so like to your point, it would be like there's not that much difference in the government, like if they wanted to kill a Republican or Democrat. Now it's like a little bit bigger because it's
but I think
a little bit more.
So that's why I say it's a sort of a cabal because it's.
I mean,
Eisenhower told us about the military-industrial complex. He told us on the way out. They probably would have killed him if he tried to tell us sooner. You know, it was just sort of like a pivotal time. Vietnam War, Korean War, World War II. Then after World War II, that's when we like ramped it up, right? Korean War, Vietnam War, us versus Soviet Union, Cold War. It was like, how can we ramp up more and more war? So I don't know. Somehow I think everyone who got killed in the 60s just threatened whatever their agenda was. You know,
to your theory, you know, one of the things that Epstein list has done is it's, I think, shown that there is a cabal of very rich and very powerful people who are doing really bad things. And I do not believe that this is like a one-time thing.
Right.
I mean, one of the things that's been surprising is how close Epstein was with like the Israeli government and other governments.
Right. And I think that's why they threw us Diddy to make us feel like we accomplished something. We got a bad guy off the board.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's always, they catch the black ones, but the white ones they let go and ignore.
Yeah.
Even though the white ones are doing things at
MJ
such
theory?
bigger scale.
Right.
The Michael Jordan stuff?
Michael
Jackson. Michael Jackson.
That he was going to expose it somehow.
Well, that he was protecting the kids. Like Neverland was actually.
I heard about
that. The whole idea was that Neverland was like his way of protecting the kids so that they don't have to go. And then like you talk to like some of the kids, like Macaulay Culkin and other kids were like, yeah, that's what we've been saying for like the last 20 years, that it was actually to protect us and he didn't want us to go. Like, I guess
that's crazy.
But there is the documentary, like he definitely was doing stuff.
Maybe, I don't know.
But can you imagine, like, if, like, hypothetically, if that's true, like, you're trying to save people and then you get accused of very thing.
They went after him. Yeah. Because even though, like, I mean, that, like, for example, like, I don't know this for a fact, and this is all allegedly, but like, that guy, some of the guys in those videos or some of the documentaries were shady or they had like things going on. But I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say anything because I don't know enough about it, but that's what they're saying.
Well, it's time for us to pick the unofficial official story, one that will answer this question once and for all. So, which theory do you want to go with today?
I can't get my mind off the incest porn. I'm just kidding. No.
That is crazy, but I like the time travel. I think mine is...
Yours is
somewhat
more
close
realistic
to what happened, even though we don't know exactly. But, well, because the incest one, when I saw that, spoiler alert, when I saw that on White Lotus, it bothered me. So I'm going to say...
Wait, that was on White Lotus, this theory?
Season 3.
No, there's a little
there's
scene
the brothers
it's
and
just
this
awful.
one. Mm-hmm.
That whole season I didn't really love. I thought they like milked two more. There's 2 extra episodes that they just sort of milk things. Since the mere thought of that is troubling, I'm gonna go with the time travel one.
I took it too far.
Right.
I'm actually gonna vote for Dwayne's because I think it's like, even though the time travel one is fun, I do think it was of course it was the government, you guys.
Okay, I'm going to not be the bigger person. I'm going to vote for mine.
right. Nice.
Because it's time traveler. Obviously, it's a time. And then, we've already said...
It's not aliens.
It's not aliens.
I was going to go with aliens, actually. Go ahead.
And also, we know that she said the internet. So, like you mentioned. So
Right.
So
that's a fact.
Yeah.
Wait, what was going to be your alien theory?
Well, because my alien theory was when they were pillow talking, her and RFK, he maybe mentioned... either JFK or RFK. It probably would be JFK because he was president. But he mentioned like New Mexico and some stuff that was found, alien stuff that people weren't supposed to know. And so she had that knowledge and maybe she was going to leak it to some people. she's Marilyn Monroe. People might believe it. So aliens came and took her out before she could.
Okay. Other theory. What if she was an alien?
Oh, now
And they took away her life
that.
support thing.
I don't want to take yours away, Koji, but I could get behind that.
She was a cute alien then.
Yeah. She took.
Well, she was engineered to be the most
yeah.
attractive person to human eyes.
But that would explain why the brothers didn't mind sharing, because they were like,
She's the most attractive to human eyes. She was programmed
she's
by
an
genius
alien.
alien time travelers.
right.
Duh.
I don't hate that. But I think
We've already chosen time travelers.
Time travel. Okay. And that's the official story. We'll take another break and then we'll ask the question that you've always wanted to ask.
All right. Marilyn is iconic for singing a very breathy, sexy happy birthday to JFK. If you had to seduce a world leader to get some state secrets, what songs are you singing to them and how uncomfortable do you make it?
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to sing Islands in the Stream. Is that a song by Dolly Parton?
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you say the word island, they know what island you're talking about. And that's going to make them more comfortable and make them do what you need to, whatever it is you're trying to get them to do. They're going to either kill you or play ball, because you sing a song with the word island in it like 20 times, even though you're saying islands in the stream. That is what we are.
You just like make really strong eye contact with them.
Yeah.
Like,
you
get
just
islands.
say it, and at the end, and we'll rely on each other. Epstein. You know what I mean? Just sort of. So that's the song I'm singing.
The seduction part is the tough one, because otherwise I'd be like, okay, I'm going to sing, I know a song that annoys people. I know a song that annoys people, and this is how it goes. I know a song that annoys people.
Do you think that has that ever worked in a seductive way?
No.
Okay.
That would be if I
was
wanted to
thinking
torture
that,
them.
yes.
Oh, you were torture. Okay.
I would torture them like that. But seduction, gosh, that is tough. Definitely the one that goes, I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt.
That's worse than the annoying song.
Look, repulsion is a sexual feeling too in some places.
That's true.
What places?
I don't know.
I want to go there.
People will probably like S&M.
Yeah, like weird kinks. It'd be like a masochism situation.
Okay, I have a song of seduction for my dog. It's called the Himmler song.
The what?
The Himmler, like the Nazi SS leader.
Okay, yeah.
It's basically, I'm not going to sing it, but it's about how I'm Mr. Himmler and my dog is Mrs. Himmler, and we're chicken farmers because he was a chicken farmer. But we're so happy together that we don't become SS soldiers and leaders, and we don't kill 6 million Jews. So that's the song I would do.
So is this a song you sing sometimes?
Did you make this up?
I did make this up, and I do sing it all the time.
That's crazy. I almost got to hear it.
But it's a happy. I mean, it's a song where the Himmlers are not mass killer, or at least Mr. Himmler is not a mass killer.
They change their mind
because they're happy as happy people.
Is it because they have a dog, or because the dog is Mrs. Himmler?
Yeah, that one. It's weird. The more I talk about it, the less.
Now the dog crotch thing is starting to really come into play.
We all have songs, okay?
Right.
This is the song I would sing to the world leader, and they would be like, what the fuck is going on? But then they would be super turned on. I'd probably do the dance of seduction. I have a dance of seduction I do as well. So,
right.
Yeah, that's where I move my hips, and people are seduced.
There's some world leaders that you can seduce them just by playing a Kids Bop album.
That's funny.
Like a certain prince or former prince?
I'm sure there's many.
But if I was trying to turn on Hillary, I would sing, "Don't mess with Bill." Oh. I mean, they're a team, but at the same time, I think there's chinks in that armor. You know what I mean?
Why are you looking at me when you said chinks?
I'm sorry. that is the word, though. It just means like a small
Asian person
in the armor.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
We truly appreciate your support and enthusiasm for our quirky, mysterious, and fun-filled journey. Your curiosity and engagement make this podcast a joy to create. Stay tuned for more intriguing stories, and remember to share, subscribe, and leave a review. Until next time, keep wondering and stay unofficially official.
Now that we're at the end of the season, we want to thank all of you for listening and being part of our team. We're going to take a month off, but stay tuned. We're going to have a best of season 5 and a season 6 trailer, which, Jesus, I need to do. I haven't done that, so I got to do that. Sorry. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.